The ACC championship game is this Saturday night in Charlotte. There's a lot of intrigue around this game. This is Clemson versus SMU. Whom's to debunk it, right? SMU's favored in the game. That's the first biggest takeaway. Is SMU is it's not like there's some fluke, like confluence of events, and oh look, a cute story. SMU's in the game like Pitt was a few years ago, but they were a big dog. No, SMU's there and they're favored by 2.5 against Clemson. Preseason JP poll, I went back and looked. If we had these two teams matched up, it only would have been Clemson -6. So like SMU's been a pretty wire-to-wire team this year. What is Dabo Swinney's record in ACC championship games? Does anyone want to guess? He is 8-1. And the loss was his first year there, which kind of doesn't count, but kind of does. So he's been deadly in this spot. And he's a dog, which, as we all know, is literal oxygen to Dabo Swinney at Clemson. If you even whisper the word doubt, he will hear you from 2 counties over. This is about which team is more explosive. So, Clemson's offense, 15th in the country. SMU's defense, 11th in the country. Here's where the rubber meets the road. SMU's offense is 19th. Clemson's defense is 107 in that category. So that's where, if SMU handles this moment correctly, they can find themselves some separation. And then the other part of it is SMU's just a really good team. So you're like, wow, groundbreaking analysis there. But it matters specifically in the context of Clemson because their performance level has not scaled this year. They've been very good against inferior competition, and they've been very poor when they face equal to or better competition. They have faced 3 teams I would power rate in my top 20 this year. They played Georgia and got the door slammed in their face. They scored 3 points. They played Louisville. They scored 21, and honestly, a lot of that was backdoor. They played South Carolina and scored 14. So against top 20 caliber teams, by my estimation, 12.7 points per game. SMU is that caliber team. And it is a Cade Klubnik game because of that. The Clemson quarterback there, I said the same thing when they faced South Carolina last week. He is the most important player on the field to me. And last week was a situation where they got some plays, but it was either an explosive play or nothing. They didn't sustain drives. It was feast or famine. South Carolina was able to get after them and pressure them. SMU can do the exact same thing. I need you to know that that's the number 2 pressure rate team in the country, number 1 by some metrics. Like SMU is right up there in all of FBS with leading the country in pressure rate. And you do that, you're going to win this game. The turnover profile needs to hold too, though, because Clemson is 11th in takeaways and SMU is 85th in giveaways. So there is a world there where Clemson just flips the game on its ear and they get outgained and the box score looks one way, but Clemson's through takeaways has made it look the other way. I think the pressure rate really matters. I think SMU, you think about them, most of America hasn't watched them play, if you're being honest, and you think points, and really they get after it defensively. I'm not sold on Clemson being able to run the ball. I am sold on SMU being able to run the ball. Brashard Smith is 6 yards per carry at tailback right now. Kevin Jennings at quarterback is a true dual threat. I mean, Clemson's going to try and ride Phil Maffa. I think it'll be tough sledding for Clemson on the ground. And the other question, as we go into what the model thinks about the game, is Clemson still a big game program? I know they'll put this in the hype video. That's fine. It's fair to ask, though. They're 3-7 in their last games against top 10 teams. Is Clemson under Dabo Swinney still a big game team? Because there was a once upon a time where I knew I was going to get their absolute best in the biggest moments. I hadn't gotten that this year. Actually, it's been quite the opposite. So let's take a look at what the model thinks. At FanDuel, SMU is 2.5-point favorite right now. The model is shorter. The model has SMU -1. I disagree with the model. SMU is going to win this game, and they're going to cover because they're the better team. And I trust them more.